What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Group Chat Sports. This is Group Chat Football Live. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is our national college football show, talking the biggest news in the sport, from recruiting, transfers, coaching movement, and everything in between. We've got you covered here on Group Chat Sports. I'm Peter Ariz. That is D Money. And we're talking about a program here right off the bat that has been hot on the recruiting trail, defending champs, great supporters of the page as well. So shout out to the Buckeyes fans out there. But Ohio State, they pick up another one on the defensive side of the ball. And they're making a push here for the number one class in the country. USC currently holds that title, but Ohio State not far behind.
Yeah, you see I'm in the Beechwold Nature Preserve here. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. So, yeah, let's start. There's a lot going on with Ohio State's class, but let's start with the most recent news, which is the commitment of Simeon Caldwell to Ohio State, 6'3", 185, top 100 player in the country, number 7 linebacker in the country. Really a unique player because he's at Jacksonville Bulls, legendary program down here in North Florida. They produced Chipper Jones, of course, the Atlanta Braves great, Mac Jones, quarterback for Alabama, now in the NFL. So this is a big-time program, very well coached, historically good. So this is somebody, you see him here, he can cover, he's got length. They use him all over the front. He can blitz a little bit. He is a coach's son and an NFL player's son. So the pedigree is very, very good. Mike Caldwell, his dad, 10-year vet, currently the linebacker coach of the Tampa Bay Bucks. So you have the good genetics physically and then also the good training mentally, which is what you want to see. But you know, might be wondering, why is this guy listed as a linebacker? He's out here covering guys. Really more of a safety for his high school team, but again, different roles. But the projection, when you think of his dad as a linebacker coach, the fact this guy's already getting close, you know, this has 6'3", 185. I would say he's probably getting closer to 200 by now, and certainly with a lot of room to grow. I could see him being your typical Ohio State linebacker, which is somebody who can cover, a 3-down linebacker who has that length and versatility. Ohio State's made a living off these guys. I think back to Darron Lee from the Jets, first-round pick for the Jets. He was a monster for Ohio State. Different kind of body, probably a little shorter than Caldwell, but same kind of versatility with the ability to cover, run, and hit. That's the first kind of name that I thought of, but they've had other guys with that versatility. Miami was in the mix here, USC, Notre Dame, but the Buckeyes won out. Quote from Caldwell, Ohio State was a place I felt most comfortable. The culture there is amazing. I had the feeling that I'd been part of the program for years, and kind of has in a way because his uncle, Tim Walton, of course, a coach with the Buckeyes. So this was a recruitment where the deck was stacked a little bit in favor of Ohio State, but when you're the champions and you're trying to get the number one class, most recruiting battles are.
Yeah, and I like what I like about it, the pickup for the Buckeyes, and the player really is, yes, he's listed as a safety, projects as a linebacker, but a lot of times when you do these projections, you're saying, well, he has the frame to do it. You're already seeing him play that role. You're seeing him play up near the line of scrimmage. You've seen him as a blitzer. You see him making these plays on the perimeter, right? So you're not just saying this is what he's going to end up being. We see him in coverage here, but there are a lot of plays here where he's playing near the line of scrimmage, you know, in a more physical support role, as we see right there once again.
And what I like about this is he is surrounded by coaches. Not only, again, his dad is an NFL linebacker coach and a vet. Tim Walton was an NFL DC, now coaching defensive backs there over at Ohio State. So he has great advice. I think back to James Williams. James Williams was a 5-star player out of Miami, ended up signing with the Hurricanes, was a 6'5" safety. Everybody thought he was going to move to linebacker. He wanted to stay at safety, even though really NFL-wise and just team-wise, it made more sense for him to focus on linebacker, develop that way. He ended up staying at safety, got drafted in the 6th round, should have been drafted way higher, started at linebacker for the Titans as a rookie, but was behind because he hadn't played. With someone like Caldwell, who has similar dimensions, he's going to have people telling him right away, hey, man, you're a linebacker. I mean, his dad's a linebacker coach in the NFL. He knows what this whole process is like. So I think he's going to have good advice as far as what he needs to do body-wise. We'll see where that goes, but looking at plays like that, he definitely looks like just a rangy 3-down Ohio State linebacker. And that BIA, that thing's been trending. They've been doing that a lot. We've been talking about a little bit here with this next video, talking about their whole class. But he said Ohio State is BIA for a reason, best in America. This is one of the best players in America, a top 100 player. And I just think most importantly with him, fits what Ohio State Laurinaitis like to do. He was like that as a player. Versatile guys that aren't going to be 270, 60 pounds just lumbering and knocking guys back like old Jeremiah Trotter. These guys are going to run, cover, and hit and play with versatility on all three downs. Simeon Caldwell, tremendous get for Ohio State and a great fit.
And just looking at this Ohio State class right now, 5th in the country on the 247 Sports composite. You have USC at number 1, Clemson at number 2, LSU at 3, Texas A&M at number 4, and then Ohio State. But nice little run here for the Buckeyes. Recently, Blaine Bradford also committed at the safety spot. Talk about some physical players at that position that they've brought in. Sam Greer at offensive line, a guy that we're big fans of as a very athletic basketball background tackle. Tucker Smith on the interior offensive line. So now 9 commits in this class for Ohio State and could potentially be going on a run here.
Yeah, and I think, like you said it best, they want that number 1 class in the country. Bradford, Henry, top of their position guys. Caldwell, top 100 player. That gets them in the conversation. They're currently number 3. But there's other guys here that could push them even closer to that number 1 spot. One of them, Luke Wafel. I still haven't learned how to pronounce it. I'm sure I will when he's sacking guys at the college level. But number 10 edge in the country, number 1 player in New Jersey, which is a football-rich state historically. 6'5.5", 245 from Princeton, New Jersey, the Hun School, a very prestigious school. School has produced a lot of FBS players. And this is somebody who, just watching him on film, I mean, again, I don't want to do the whole comparing to white guy comparison, but man, Jack Sawyer, you see a little bit of that. This guy is a long, talented player. His older brother plays for Penn State. North Carolina's in the mix. USC, Texas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Florida in the mix. But he visited Ohio State, and he said that he loved it. The intel, just looking at On3, talking to folks over there in Columbus, he said that Ohio State blew him away. I think a Miami visit's on the horizon. There's some other places he's going to visit. But man, Penn State, of course, with his brother there. But if you're Ohio State and you're about to send 2 defensive ends to, let's say, the second round, maybe the first round with Sawyer and JTT, I think this guy fits right in just because the size, man. You see how big he is. This is a legit 6'6" dude that can move.
Yeah, there's some guys that you pull up their tape and it's not hard to see. He's bigger, more aggressive. I mean, quicker off the ball than anyone on the field, it seems like. And you could see it translating pretty easily to the next level.
Yeah, no, excited to watch this guy perform. I think he's going to be a really, really good player.
So as we keep it moving here on the list of targets here moving forward for Ohio State, Caden Dixon-Wyatt, a wide receiver, teammate of Chris Henry at Mater Dei. So obviously just locked up Chris Henry as he shut down his recruitment. It feels like, and that's one of the other things here recently that's happened for Ohio State. It feels like that was a new commitment in a sense. Ohio State fans have, they always feel good about keeping highly ranked receivers in their class, as they should with the track record there. But there were other programs pushing hard. So could his teammate be joining him in the fold?
And a much different type of player with Dixon-Wyatt, much stronger than Chris Henry. Chris Henry is very quick and athletic and tall, but he's slight. Dixon-Wyatt, extremely physical. Oregon's in the mix, which if you're Ohio State, who's your competition? Who was your competition last year? Probably your tightest competition was the Oregon Ducks. So that's someone you're battling with. He's going to visit Oregon soon. But Dixon-Wyatt has some future trips planned to Ohio State. He said, what excites me most is the culture they built. It's a place where they develop guys at a high level, both on and off the field, and they really prepare you for the next step. Of course, that's Ohio State's pitch to any wide receiver, is all the first rounders that they produce. Could have another one here with Ibuka. I would take him first round. So that's a pretty clear developmental blueprint. And with Dixon-Wyatt, you look at the Vegas All-22, so a camp out there. He won Alpha Dog. But what jumps out to me is the testing, right? Because testing is testing anywhere. It doesn't matter who the competition is. 6'2", 175. I know he's listed at 180. I actually thought he was closer to that. He'll get there in college. 4.76, which on a high school laser is not that bad, but He's probably more of a 4.5 guy at the peak of his development. But look at this 4.07 shuttle, which is extremely quick, 40 power ball throw, which is extremely explosive, 39-inch vert. That 115 spark is really, really high. And I think that shows you the overall athlete and explosive mover that this guy is. The 4.76 40, people were like, oh man, he's too slow. He'll be a 4.5 guy. That's a laser high school time. When you have a 39-inch vert, that usually portends to a much faster 40 than 4.76 once you learn how to run and all these other things. So I think this is a guy who, high standards at Ohio State, he, to me, meets them because of the athletic profile and because of the production and the fact that he can do things like this right here when he is in a contested catch situation. So good compliment to Chris Henry at the high school level, maybe a good compliment to him at the pro level or at the college level.
And he's big already too. So I mean, you pair the explosiveness with, he may not be just flat out running by corners, but when you get it in a tight space, when you get him in a window, he is going to have the explosiveness and power to win in those one-on-one situations.
Yep. And I think you saw the ability to adjust to the ball as well. Some of those clips, he has that too. He's coached up Matter Day. He's been against some of the best players in the country at that program, which is as good as it gets in the country. Of course, in practice, he's competing, maybe not directly going against them, but he wants to outdo Chris Henry. You know that. So this is somebody who's going to show up there ready to compete. And I think Oregon's going to make their run, but Ohio State's going to have always the best pitch when it comes to two wide receivers because of what they've done. And they'd love to pair these teammates together.
Not the only wide receiver they're pushing for right now, as TCU commit Brock Boyd is high on their list out of powerhouse Southlake Carroll.
Yeah, man, we've seen Southlake for so many years, man. They're one of those programs that is just a traditional winning program. 6'1", 175, committed to TCU. You got to think if Ohio State applies pressure, that's going to be tough to turn down. The production here for a 15-1 state championship appearing program at Southlake is off the charts as you pull up the film here, Pete. 111 catches. 111 in a high school season, 1,800 yards. I had to look at that like it was a misprint. I'd never seen anything like that from a high school kid. I mean, high school production at receiver, you're so dependent on so many things. It's hard. I mean, those are huge numbers for college. Those are obscene numbers for college. So in the high school level where it's hard to complete that many passes, period, you see the jump. This is a guy who, when you look in the 200 meters, he's 21.77. So the guy's track speed is there. It's not just production. You see the contested catch ability there. This guy is really, to me, I had not really focused on him as a prospect until Ohio State came on the scene, but he is one of the most interesting guys to me. There you see him adjust. See, that was a post route, got thrown a little bit too far to the sideline. He makes the adjustment, makes the play. The coordination, the speed, which you can verify with that 21.7. There you see him going up and getting the ball. He's a really, really interesting guy to me, Pete. And I think the fact that Ohio State's come after a TCU commit all the way in Texas is telling that they think that there's some special ability in this guy, and that those stats and the length and then the verified speed in the 200, they're seeing that all together. And Brian Hartline saying, man, what could this guy be? And again, I know I've done this twice already with the white guy to white guy comparisons, but Brian Hartline was not that much smaller than this guy. Was also a really sharp route runner, kind of a leggy guy, faster than a lot of people thought was Brian Hartline. He was a legit 4.4 guy himself. So maybe you've seen some of him in this dude.
Moving along here, staying on the offensive side of the ball, running back position, someone that we've spoken about both here on this show and then on our Kane show as well. Favor Aki, running back. Big, strong, but with some, long speed that you'll see here on his tape in just a second.
Yeah, 6 foot 190. I think he's probably going to be bigger than 190 soon if he's not already. Number 15 back in the country. He'll be back at Ohio State tomorrow, Saturday. So it's 3 straight weeks. He's going to spring practice. Of course, he's at Delaware, Ohio, so he's not that far. He was at Miami recently. USC's on his list, but I think Ohio State is the team that's trending here. Of course, they're about to send 2 running backs to the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft. So pretty good spot to be in. We talked about receivers, pretty good spot to be in for a running back. And he said, I love speaking with Coach Day and everything he had to say about me, and giving me knowledge on how to improve as a man, as a player, as well as Coach Locke, pointing out things I'm great at and things I could work on. It's truly a blessing to be offered by your hometown. And I think with this guy, it's really 2 things. It's a straight line speed, he's in the tens. I think he's about 10.9, 100 meters. Translates on the field. You see the straight line speed, and then just the kind of toughness. He's a little bit of an upright runner, but he's not a soft runner. He breaks tackles, and he is trying to get north and south so he can get to those long strides. There you see him shedding a tackle at the second level and taking it all the way to the house. I think that's really what you get with this guy, is sort of north-south straight lines, but straight lines with some speed and some strength to it as well.
Yeah, and this guy, once he gets in a college weight room and strength and conditioning program, I think we'll take it to just another level all together.
Yeah, again, I saw that 190. I don't think that's very accurate. At least it didn't look accurate. But you see, he broke about 10 tackles on that play. He definitely looks 6 foot. So I saw some picture of him on campus when he visited Miami. He's got size to him. So, and Ohio State's been around him so much up there. They know exactly what they're dealing with a frame standpoint. And obviously they like the player.
So let's go to the defensive side of the ball, talk about a couple linebackers, starting with Sincere Johnson.
Yeah, Sincere Johnson, highly rated player, 6'3", 225. We talked a little bit about Simeon Caldwell kind of growing into the linebacker position. This dude is full grown at 6'3", 225. He said there's the brotherhood in the future of Ohio State intrigues him. Number 8 linebacker in America, number 3 player in the state of Ohio. Alabama is battling, but he is the favorite. He is from Glenville High School in Cleveland, Ohio. That is a traditional Ohio State factory. I think back to guys like Dante Whitner, Ted Ginn, back in the day. Those are just this is a school that produces Ohio State Buckeyes. And when you look at Sincere Johnson, who's the number 3 player in Ohio, this is somebody that, look, Alabama's going to take a shot. They've been recruiting really well nationally, but I think if you're Ohio State, you can't lose this kid, man. He's ready-made. He's big. He's playing linebacker already. He delivers strikes. To me, he looks like a plug-and-play type of player. Linebacker, in my experience, usually those guys, maybe not Ohio State, which is so loaded, but usually those guys show early. And I could see this guy right here, because of the fact that he already plays linebacker, he has size and speed. He's been well coached. I could see him being kind of an early impact guy. Because I think of guys with this size, let's say in Florida, for example, where we're at, a state that struggled to produce linebackers. A lot of times these Florida guys that are this size get moved to defensive end pretty quick, at least just because they can impact the game more that way at the high school level. And then they move them back to linebacker in college and they're behind. This guy's playing linebacker. He's reading, he's reacting, he's hitting it hard. Clearly he trusts his eyes when you see how quickly he closes distance and attacks it. Of course, as a blitzer, he's hell because of his size and speed. This is somebody that I think he deserves the ranking he has and must get for Ohio State, and it should be no surprise that they're the favorite.
Yeah, 3 down backers are so rare these days. That's why he's such a valuable commodity. He reminds me a bit of Edgerrin Cooper from the Packers, who was one of the best rookie defenders from a height, weight, speed standpoint, and then how they could use him as well, both as an interior, as an inside linebacker, or as a blitzer, or as an edge guy. So,
very good athlete as well, Edgerrin Cooper, yeah. which Sincere looks like he is as well.
So another linebacker here from Columbus, Ohio, CJ Santa, 6'3", 225. He's also visiting this weekend.
Another guy that has been down to Miami. Miami's trying to get into Ohio, but it's going to be hard to get guys like this. A Columbus native with a Miami offer. Indiana, Pittsburgh, Wisconsin in the mix, but Ohio State's got to be the favorite here. 3-star linebacker on paper, but in terms of the way I know other schools view him, he is way higher than that. He's going to visit tomorrow. I think he's got a chance to commit. You look at the athlete at 6'3", 225, 4x1, discus, shot put, has played other positions besides linebacker. So he is somebody who's moved around, probably closer in profile to a Simeon Caldwell. The difference with Santa is that he's already bigger as far as his weight than Caldwell. So he's a further along version if you're talking about projecting Caldwell as a linebacker. There you see it in the graphic. First year at linebacker, but 6'3", 225. Those are prototypical measurements. And this is an instinct position, so it's not just about having athletes, but you see him here reading the quarterback the whole way through, and then the speed to close. This is an exciting player to me. This is somebody that I really kind of want to see get on campus and develop, because he just – I said similar things about Sincere, but really with Santa, it might even apply more so. He just reminds me of these classic Ohio State linebackers like, P. Werner, guys like that just, they run, they hit, they cover, they're athletes, they can tackle, they're tough, just doing a lot of things on a football field for a top 5 defense. That's what you see when you look at CJ Santa there. Boom, playing traditional linebacker, showing no problem with the physicality.
Yeah, so I mean, look, those would be a couple tremendous pickups at linebacker, and the size. I mean, 6'3", 225 for both of them. It's exactly what you want in your modern linebacker. Both of them can move, man, and run and be physical. So would be big pickups here for Ohio State. Now rounding it out, let's go back to the offensive line. Interior offensive lineman Drew Evers from Dallas Fort Worth.
4-star, number 15 interior offensive lineman in America, 6'4", 285. Ohio State is trending after he visited them last week. Penn State, Texas A&M in the mix, Southern Methodist, SMU. But I think Ohio State is the favorite right now to go into Texas and land a very athletic interior offensive lineman. His brother, Nick Evers, was a big quarterback prospect, signed, I believe, with Oklahoma. He's currently at UConn. I think he's expected to be their starter or at least compete for the starting job. So this is someone with some athletic genes in the family, but he's a big boy, man. He's not like overly huge, at 6'4", 285, but certainly has enough for the Big Ten. And you look at the schools in the mix, right? Texas A&M, Ohio State, Penn State. This is a big-time recruit and somebody who I think is going to add some just athleticism to that interior line. That's really, to me, more his game than just being, he's not like a 330-pound brawler, right? That you just put him in a phone booth and that's what you have there at the high school level. And as you project forward, he is somebody that to me really, really moves. Did a nice job on the camp circuit. So he's someone just to kind of keep an eye on as a potential commitment in this interior line class. Here you see him playing left tackle, showing you some of his athleticism. And you see, I mean, yes, he finishes. He's definitely tough. Did a little step over right there, just kind of a nasty guy. But the suddenness and the twitch, playing that left tackle position, really, to me, projects well as a guard or maybe even a center, man. I don't know how tall he is, but certainly looking at athleticism, if he is that 6'4", what he's listed at, you can certainly see him at center. That Ohio State's had plenty of centers in that range that are maybe a little on the taller side, leaner side. You've seen guys like Myers over the years at Ohio State that are bigger. I could see him fitting right in that role as well.
Ohio State, man, they don't look like it's going to slow down very soon up there in Columbus. So good little run for them, and could get even better here in the near future. So keep it locked on Group Chat Sports. Buckeyes fans will have you covered with all the latest in recruiting. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Switching gears here, as we've mentioned, transfer portal starting to heat up a little bit, but in particular one school, because of their new coach at Stanford, Troy Taylor, fired with his situation over there and have had some guys leave. The latest now, Emmett Mosley, who had a really nice freshman year, even though he missed 3 games, but came on strong at certain points of the season. Another 6'2", 190 type big-bodied frame with some pedigree as well.
Yeah, this is a dude telling athletic genes, man. I know you're a soccer guy, Pete. So his dad was a football player, running back, a wide receiver at Notre Dame in the 90s. His mom, Cindy, played soccer at Notre Dame, won the Herman Trophy. Is that how you pronounce it? Herman? Anyways, is the best college soccer player in the country. She wins that, basically the soccer Heisman, played on the national team for the USA. His sister, meaning the kid's sister, Jalen Mosley, played soccer at Iowa. His brother, Trent Mosley, is a 4-star receiver committed to USC, which we're going to talk about here. But getting back to Emmett, 6'2", 190. He's originally from Chicago, close to Notre Dame there where his parents went, but then played high school ball in San Luis Obispo in California, Central Coast of California. I was actually there this summer at Morro Bay, which was beautiful, kind of misty, but great. Anyways, that's right there basically between North Cal, which is Stanford, where he's at, Los Angeles, where USC, his brother's committed to. So he's kind of right in the middle, right where he's from. And then, of course, has roots in Chicago. So what does that all mean? We talk about USC. We're talking about Notre Dame, different places where he could be a factor as far as a transfer. I think certainly Notre Dame can always use wide receivers, especially as they maybe shift more towards a passing game with Angeli or Carr, whoever ends up winning that job at the quarterback position, can be more of a passer than what Riley Leonard was. So you're going to see more passing. You need more receivers. This guy can get it done there. As you see him against Clemson with the hitch and go and the beautiful catch. USC, his brother's committed there. They lost Deuce Robinson. They lost Zachariah Branch. You could see him fitting there. Michigan always on the hunt for wide receivers, especially with Bryce Underwood doing their thing. So this is somebody who I think can help a lot of teams. A tough loss for Stanford. You already lose Ayomanor to the NFL draft, their number one receiver, who was a really, really good. Ishmael Cisse transferred to Arkansas. That was their third receiver. So they've lost a lot. That's what happens when you have this kind of upheaval. But getting back to Mosley, 6'2", 190, really, really productive. Missed the first 3 games of the year and then kind of hit the ground running with 48 catches, 525 yards, 6 touchdowns. Louisville's when he really kind of blew up. That was an upset win for the Cardinal over Louisville. It's the Cardinal over the Cardinals. 13 catches, 168 yards, 3 touchdowns in that game. Was really outstanding and just picked up steam as the season went on. I think he had a growth spur when you look at his high school measurements to what he looks like now. He's listed 6'2", 190. He looks 6'2", 190. Very, very good after the catch, but does have the ability to make contested catches, as you saw against Clemson when he went up and over. He is somebody who you just, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what he can do. I think he's got untapped potential, and I think as he grows into his body, as he continues to tap into those athletic genes, get refined as a route runner, you could be talking about an NFL-type player. He's going to be one of the most coveted players on the portal, I predict. And if I had to guess what schools are in the mix, Notre Dame, from Chicago, parents are Notre Dame alums. USC, his brother's committed there to play wide receiver. Michigan, just because, man, they need a guy like this.
Yeah, all of those places make sense for him. Led the ACC for freshmen in receiving last year, and that was, again, with him missing 3 games. So I think the best is yet to come for Emmett Mosley, and we'll see where he ends up. We'll have you guys covered here on Group Chat Sports. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Portal is approaching, man. It's here. It's not approaching. It's here. But we're seeing some good players leave from Stanford, and we're about to see a whole lot more here in the next couple of weeks. So.
And Stanford fans, we'll get you on the way in too.
Yeah,
a lot of guys have been on the portal here after spring. We'll be bringing you all that. So if you're a Stanford fan watching this video, kind of upset, there's going to be some players coming in too, and we will give you the latest on all of that on Group Chat Sports Live, because we cover the portal intensely, and the portal's about to heat up, man, in about a week. So we'll be all over that.
All right, everyone. See you guys later. Appreciate you all for watching today. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you all.